Hello, everyone. I'm back for part 2. This is Divine Due Diligence, coming on here doing my due diligence of giving you what? Time, experience, and acknowledging God in everything that I do. Let's get back to it. Edification means building someone up, strengthening them, or contributing to them to their development. 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says this: edify one another. Imagine applying that principle to marriage. Are we building each other? Not are we perfect, but are we building? Can your spouse say, since being with you, I have grown? Can you say the same? Spiritually, emotionally, mentally, financially, relationshiply, in wisdom, in discipline, in confidence, in accountability, or purpose. If years have passed and one person has been systematically stripped of confidence, relationship, identity, dreams, and independence, that deserves serious examination. Words have life. You also made an important point about what we speak. Divine, what we speak. Proverbs chapter 18:21 says this: death and life are in the power of the tongue. Words influence people. Repeated words can encourage or disencourage. They can reinforce identity. They can influence expectations. They can create relative climate. They can inspire action. They can also wound deeply. But biblically, teaching about the power of words should not be turned into the idea that every sentence magically creates physical reality, and otherwise bring it to life. If I consistently say something over and over and over, and I have the power that resides in me, that I'm able to have it brought to life, and then I see it in my reality. You got to understand, you do create your reality, but it's no magical part about it, because that is already within you. So if you want to call it magic, it is. Because it's something that you never knew until it was performed. Words matter, partly because words affect belief, emotions, decisions, behavior, habits, and outcomes. For an example, I can't do anything. Repeat it long enough that belief can produce avoidance. Avoidance produce inactive or inactivity. Inactivity produce fewer opportunities. The person then looks at the results and say, see, I knew I couldn't do it. The words helped reinforce a cycle You get it? You hear it? Devon, what you say? It reinforce a cycle, which is repetitive. There is no change. But now, if it is, I don't know how to do this yet, but I can learn, that statement in itself produces a different posture. Learning creates compellingness. Compellingness or compelled, you are compelled to something, increases your confidence. Confidence can produce actions. What did you say, Divine? I got the confidence. So now I am producing. I'm reproducing. I'm being reproductive in what I applied as an action. Actions create opportunities. Words matter because they can influence what follows them. Your childhood words may also reveal something. Think about what you repeatedly told people when you were younger. I am going to blank, 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 blank. One day I'm going to blank, 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 blank. When I grow up, blank, 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 blank. I'm going to have blank, 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 blank. I'm going to become blank, 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 blank. And as we sit and ponder on these things, why were you so excited about it? What were you seeing internally? What part of that vision still follows you to today? Don't automatically call every childhood statement prophecy, but don't automatically throw it out either. Examine it, pray about it, write it down, look for patterns, look at your natural abilities, look at what repeatedly burdens your heart, look at what people consistently come to you for. Look at what you would still want to accomplish, even if nobody applauds you. Did you hear what I said? Even if nobody applauds you, there may be clues there. But it's the vision. Do you still have the vision? A vision is a mental picture of a desire or approximate or alchemizing or a futuristic thing that you have seen to be in your future. Habakkuk 2:2 says this. If you don't know, now you're about to know. Write the vision and make it plain. A vision becomes much more useful when it becomes specific. Sometimes, or instead of, I want to be successful. Ask, what does successful mean? What does it require? What knowledge do I lack? What habits have to change? What relationships need boundaries? What resources do I need? What can I begin doing today? Vision without structure can remain a fantasy. Visions combined with wisdom, preparation, discipline, and action becomes a direction, which leads to alignment. Alignment means bringing different parts into proper relationships or agreement. Spiritually alignment means that what you say, you believe, beginning to agree with you, how you actually live in it. You cannot consistently pray for one future while repeatedly choosing behaviors that built the opposite of the future. You cannot pray for financial stability while refusing financial discipline. You cannot pray for peace while consistently volunteering for chaos. What? Why would I do that? Why should you do that? You cannot pray for healthy relationships while refusing to have boundaries. So if they told you couldn't have boundaries, you got to have certain boundaries in place to be productive in certain areas and certain aspects of your life. Trust it. I'm a living witness. You cannot pray for purpose while refusing preparation. You cannot pray for growth while protecting every habit, keeping you stagnant. At some point, the prayer becomes, God, show me what needs to change in me. Start with me so that I can responsibly participate in what I'm asking you, God, to build or you to build through my life. Stop being stagnant. Stop being in a complacent place. Stagnation means remaining in a condition with little or no developed movement or progress. Stagnation can happen because of fear. That is number one. Stop being and living in fear. Stop procrastinating. Lack of knowledge, lack of discipline, unhealthy relationships, poor boundaries. Being comfortable is never comfortable in God. I will consistently, repeatedly say this because when you find yourself being uncomfortable, that's when your breakthrough shows up. That's when you start seeing what God promised you. That's when you start hearing what God has already sold and told in your life or bestowed upon your life. So stop being comfortable. Unresolved pain. Don't get it twisted. These things can be blockers or what God has already told you that your promise was. Financial limitations, wrong timing. Divine timing is everything. And stop limiting God on what he already said or promised you. Or repeatedly waiting for a perfect condition. There is no perfect time. I'm here to tell you, time is God's time. Time is not linear. Time is always in divine timing, which means it can happen at any moment, any given second, any given minute, any given day, any given year, any given what? Any given. Divine timing is everything. That means stagnation should not allow being interpreted as somebody is blocking my blessing. Sometimes somebody may genuinely be interfering with your progress. But sometimes the obstacle is a pattern within ourselves that needs to change. The realization is empowering because what belongs to me, would you say, divine? What belongs to you can be confronted, but hold yourself accountable. Accountability is everything. Don't blame it on whatever you think or thought, because guess what? It's between you and God that has the say with your life. Nobody else. So if you allow somebody to do or hold you up and put you in a place that you feel like you would never receive, hold yourself accountable. Accountability means accepting responsibility for your decisions, behavior, and obligations. You got to look at you first. That was one of the number one things that I had to do first within myself. Where was I wrong? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Not so much as holding things that was done against me, but looking at my reality as it happened. I give it to you, God. I release for it to no longer be or bother me. But accountability is I am holding myself to the decisions and the behavior and that I am obligated to. This is where spiritual maturity becomes practical. Instead of only asking, who stopped me? Also ask, where did I stop myself? You were waiting on somebody? You thought your significant other had all the answers. Something happened to you, you stopped doing and thought the other person was going to pick up. But that wasn't a promise that God gave to somebody else. He gave it to you. So we and whatever we find ourselves in, whatever state that we find ourselves in, we must consistently still hold ourselves accountable to be able to have movement and to thrive into what God has promised us. Instead of only asking who draining or what's draining me, ask, why do I continue giving unlimited access to something that consistently drains me? Instead of, why hasn't my promise happened? Ask yourself, what preparation would the life I'm praying for require from me? Accountability does not remove God. Accountability recognizes that God gave humans beings responsibility. You are responsible for you, nobody else. You are responsible for you. Let's take heed on the parable of the talents. Matthew 25:14-30 tells us about the servants entrusted with different amounts. 2 servants did something with what they received. One buried his. This provides a powerful principle. What have you done with what was placed in your hands? Your gift can be real and undeveloped. Your idea can be powerful and unexcused. Your calling can be meaningful and neglected. Your opportunities can exist and still require participation. So instead of merely saying, God promised me something, ask, what am I doing with what God has already placed in my hands? We worried about the promises, but what are you doing right now with what you got? What are you doing right now? What are you working with right now? What you already have, what you already possess, that's placed in your hands. That's a question to think about real good. But one big question that I might want to say or even ask: what happened between the child and the adult? Maybe the child believed anything was possible. Then life happened. Someone laughed at the dream. Someone rejected you. Someone told you to be realistic. A relationship distracted you. A marriage changed you. Children required your attention. Money became difficult. You experienced trauma. You became afraid. You stopped trusting yourself. You started surviving instead of building. And eventually you stopped talking about what you once saw. That does not automatically mean that the dream died. Maybe you stopped developing the person that is capable of carrying it. And if that is the case, the question isn't, God, where is my promise? The question becomes, who do I need to become to steward what I've been asking for? Stewardship means responsibility, managing something that is entrusted in your care. This may be the word that ties this entire thing together for you. Your gifts require stewardship. Your mind requires stewardship. Your words require stewardship. Your relationship requires stewardship. What did you say, Divine? Your money requires stewardship. Your body requires stewardship. Your opportunities require stewardship. Your vision requires stewardship. A promise is not merely something to possess. Sometimes you must develop the character and the capacity necessary to carry it responsibly. Take a final reflection. Go back and find that child. Get a mental thought. Find the younger version of yourself who could see possibilities before life convinced you otherwise. Ask that child, what did you see? Then ask the adult, what happened? And finally ask yourself, what can I do now? Maybe you don't need another prophecy. Maybe you need a plan. Maybe you don't need another confirmation or confirmation. Maybe you just need consistency. Maybe you don't need another person to tell you you are gifted. Maybe you need to develop the gift. Maybe you don't need to keep blaming your environment. Maybe you need to hold your boundaries. Maybe you don't need to call anybody who opposed you at the energy or the understanding of witchiness or warlock. Maybe you need to examine their fruit, confront unhealthy behavior, and decide who should continue having access to your life. And maybe just maybe, instead of consistently asking God, when are you going to do it for me? There are moments when the better prayer is, God, show me what you have already placed in my hands. Show me what I need to develop. Reveal what I need to release. Give me wisdom concerning the people around me. And give me the courage and the discipline to move when you tell me to move. Because faith is not merely believing that something is possible. Faith changes how you walk. And perhaps the greatest question isn't merely or simply merely, do I still believe the promise? It is, does the way I'm living today agree with the future I'm praying for now? Does the way I'm living today agree with the future I am praying for? God said a promise is a promise. But if you are not living according to the expectations of receiving the promise, hey, what more can I say? This is Divine Due Diligence telling you, hey, give God movement. Peace, love, and namaste.